It was August 8th, 2008, my 40th birthday. My husband and I were celebrating my birthday at our favorite Indian restaurant with a few friends of ours. Amid the smell of curry, cardamom, and garlic, we ordered our food, and while we were waiting for it to arrive, my friend opened her purse and presented some homemade chocolate chip cookies. I gobbled mine up because I was so hungry, and it wasn't until after I had ingested it that she said, oh, that was a special cookie. I didn't think anything of it. It's just a chocolate chip cookie. So everything was fine until about a half an hour later. You guessed it. I blacked out. My face turned pale. My lips turned blue. The ambulance was called. If this had been a movie, what you would have seen would be a split screen. On one side, you would see the ambulances, flashing lights, paramedics busting into the room, pandemonium, my husband freaking out, my friends, oh my God. Whew. On the other side of the split screen was me, having the time of my life. Or the afterlife, depending. Like a pebble being shot from a slingshot, I went flying into the center of the only way I can describe it is like the aurora borealis. And in the midst of all of that, I got the answers to every question I had ever had. I wasn't just in a conversation with God. I was at one with God. Everything I'd wanted to know was poured into me like honey. I didn't want it to end. I didn't want to come back. But in the midst of all of that, I had this thought, wait a minute, this isn't so dissimilar to what it's like to have a dream. Kind of a lucid, vivid dream, the kinds I've been having my whole life since I was a kid. Spoiler alert, I survived. When I came back into my body, that took a little bit. That'd be a whole other TED Talk. But after I came back into my body, I did some research, and I discovered that according to neuroscience, the same regions of the brain that light up during REM sleep, that's our rapid eye movement sleep, are activated during near-death experience. So both dreaming and NDEs engage the brain's temporal and parietal lobes, areas responsible for memory, imagination, and a sense of self beyond the body. These states of consciousness are like two different doorways into the same room, our infinite potential. So with this awareness, I realized I had the awareness. No wonder I've been so fascinated by dreams my whole life, not just for the intellectual activity of it all, but because they give us a backstage pass beyond the matrix into ultimate reality. But don't just take it from me. Take it from the Dreamifester Hall of Fame. This is filled with people whose dreams helped them manifest their greatest contributions to science, technology, industry, and the arts. Let's start with Albert Einstein. It's always good to start with him. That adds credibility right there. His dream led him to the theory of relativity. Thomas Edison's dream helped him to discover the lightbulb filament. Elias Howe's, he dreamed of the sewing needle kicking off the entire industrial revolution. So just without those last two dreams, we would be in the dark and naked. So we got to give dreams some props. Let's keep going. Nikola Tesla, dubbed by Einstein the smartest man alive, credited his dreams to his groundbreaking inventions, most notably the Tesla coil. Frederick Banting dreamed insulin was the treatment for diabetes. Anybody here know anybody with diabetes or have it yourself? Yeah, my nephew Frankie wouldn't be alive today. And 830 million other folks today wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that one dream. So on a lighter note, Mary Shelley's dream, actually her nightmare, inspired the Gothic novel, everybody know it? Frankenstein, you got it. But we can't talk about dreams without mentioning the late, great Dr. Martin Luther King. I didn't know this before just a few days ago, but in the midst of his speech at the March on Washington, Mahalia Jackson called out from behind him, "Tell him about the dream, Martin." With that, he switched gears and he launched into the improvised, unprepared version of his speech that begins with, "I have a dream." And that spearheaded the entire civil rights movement. Okay, so if dreams do so much for us, then why are we so blasé about them? Why do we take them lying down? You got that. That was good. You're making sure you're not sleeping. It's because of the 3 dream conundrums. Conundrum number 1, they're slippery. Hard to catch. 95% of our dreams are lost in the first 5 minutes of awakening. Number 2, they're weird, aren't they? And our minds are programmed to reject that which doesn't immediately make sense to us. Number 3, they make us feel stupid. So even if we do go out of our way to remember them, we don't often have the foggiest idea what to do with them. So no wonder most people are like, yeah, I used to dream when I was a kid, but I've got more important things to do now. But here's the deal. If we're going to join the Dreamifester Hall of Fame, we're going to have to solve these conundrums. So I've got 3 suggestions, one for each conundrum. To counteract slipperiness, simply record your first thoughts upon awakening. Write something down, anything down. Even if it isn't exactly your dream, it will likely be dream adjacent, and that's good enough. If you do that after a couple of weeks, eventually you're going to find yourself starting to record an actual dream. Okay, number 2, to counteract the weird stigma, let's go back to Old England. In Old English, weird, the original meaning of the word, was one who stands in both worlds. It was spelled with a Y, which is a little weird, but one who stands in both worlds. And isn't that what we're all trying to do here? To be in this world, but not of it? To be the 2.0 version of ourselves and beyond? So maybe our dreams, those weird dreams, are trying to give us a little message about how to do that. Okay, number 3, to counteract feeling stupid, you can use my jet set dream interpretation formula so you never again have to scratch your head and say, I had the strangest dream. I have no idea what it means. No, from now on, you will always have a plan for how to record your dreams. Okay, here we go. Jet set, because our dreams are here to help us take off and fly. The J stands for just the facts, ma'am. This means just write down your remembered dream. It doesn't matter what it was. Don't judge it. Just write it down as simply as possible. No judgment. E stands for the emotion. How did your dream make you feel? What was the energy of the dream? This gives you another clue into what's going on in the dream. T is for title. Imagine your dream was a Hollywood blockbuster movie. What would you title it? Be excited and do something creative with that title. S is for the standout symbols. Just choose a few symbols. You don't have to look at every single aspect of the dream. Just pick the few symbols that are the most curious, bewildering, or significant. And what do they mean to you? By the way, go to you first before you go to Google, before you go to ChatGPT, before you even go to my dream dictionaries. Go first to yourself. I digress. Let me keep going. Okay, so we go now for the E, for embody. This is where we take dreams out of just being an intellectual activity. We imagine how we would feel if we were the tsunami. Imagine you were the tsunami. Literally, come on. You're the tsunami. Or you're the lion. Right. Or you are the wedding dress. Just imagine that you are those elements. This helps you start to interpret your dreams. Now, lastly is the T. And when I tell you what this one is, I will tell you that this is the one that separates the ordinary folks from the Dreamifesters. If you can do this. Tangible. This is how you do something in your waking reality to honor the wisdom of your waking dream. And here's a few simple ways you can do that. For example, it doesn't have to be anything fancy, but you could, if you dreamed about somebody that you hadn't seen in a while, you could look them up on social media. You could drop them a text, say, hi, I dreamed about you last night. That's kind of a big honor to be in somebody's dream. You don't have to say what you dreamed they were doing in the dream. You can play a song that you heard in the dream and maybe dance around to it in your living room. You could go into the nether regions of your closet and pick out an outfit that you wore something like in your dream, put that on. Or simply you could just share your dream with somebody who's interested, not somebody that's going to think you're crazy, somebody that's actually got a vested interest in knowing more about you. And then you could even reenact an aspect of your dream. For example, I had a dream last night that I was on a stage talking in front of a group of people, but I looked down and I realized I'd forgotten my clothes. So I'm going to reenact that for you right now by just kidding. Okay, so now that you know how to remember dreams and what to do with your dreams, how to work with them, I have good news and bad news. According to my 30 years of experience as a dream therapist, author, and researcher, the bad news is we cannot access the fullness of our potential without tapping into the power, wisdom, creative genius of our dreams and our dreaming mind. But the good news, no, great news, is that you don't have to die or eat a special cookie to do this. You just need to take the first couple of minutes upon awakening and capture that narrow window of opportunity that exists as you transition from the dream world into the ordinary day-to-day world. And if you can do that, you will achieve new levels of creativity, knowledge, wisdom, and even productivity. Now, I hope after hearing all this, you will no longer take your dreams lying down. And may your best ones come true. Thank you.